Welcome back to the inner sanctum of celebrity analysis, anything you want. If you are seeking the fleeting, sugar-coated headlines that vanish with the morning mist, you have come to the wrong place. But if you desire to walk through the corridors of the human heart, to witness the raw, unpolished moments where fame dissolves into fragile emotion, then you are exactly where you belong. Today, we are not merely discussing a rumor. We are dissecting a seismic event that has left the Turkish entertainment world in a state of suspended animation. We are talking about the night the past tried to knock on the door, and the devastating firmness with which that door was bolted shut. We are talking about Yaman, Demet Özdemir, and the midnight message that ended an era. Before we embark on this journey through regret and resilience, I must ask for your unwavering alliance. To ensure that our independent voice continues to rise above the noise of the tabloids, please verify that you are subscribed to anything you want. For those among you who wish to be the true architects of this community, helping us dig deeper and speak bolder, I implore you to click the join button below. Your patronage is the lifeblood of this channel. Now, steel your hearts, for today we unravel a story of love, lost chances, and the wounds that refuse to heal. The narrative begins not with a public spectacle, but in the profound silence of the witching hour. It is whispered in the hushed tones of the industry's inner circle that Yaman, a man whose visage graces billboards from Rome to Istanbul, found himself wrestling with the ghosts of a chapter he seemingly could not close. Despite a schedule suffocated by international filming commitments and the relentless glare of the global spotlight, sources allege that the actor reached a moment of emotional singularity. In the solitude of midnight, driven perhaps by the heavy weight of nostalgia or the sharp pang of realization, Yaman reportedly composed a text message to his former co-star and flame, Demet Özdemir. This was not a casual greeting nor a trivial pleasantry. According to leaks that have permeated the fortress of celebrity privacy, the message was a digital vessel of regret and longing. It is said to have contained lines that were heavy with the sediment of the past, referencing a time when their chemistry did not just capture an audience but defined a generation of romantic television. The core sentiment, verified by sources close to the actor, hinged on the perilous concept of unfinished business. Yaman allegedly posited the timeless, hopeful cliché that time heals all wounds, extending an olive branch wrapped in the belief that what once was could perhaps be again. It was a gamble of the highest emotional stakes, a superstar stripping away the armor of invincibility to admit that, despite the adulation of millions, one specific validation was still missing. Following the transmission of this electronic confession, the response was a deafening silence. Reports indicate that for hours, the digital ether remained undisturbed. Demet Özdemir, the recipient of this emotional grenade, did not react with the impulsiveness often attributed to stars in the limelight. Instead, she retreated. Gossip columnists, piecing together the timeline of that fateful day, describe a woman who silenced her phone and withdrew into the sanctuary of her closest confidants. This interim period, the agonizing gap between the question and the answer, speaks volumes about the gravity of the situation. It was not a pause of confusion, but a pause of deliberation. Özdemir was reportedly weighing the cost of reopening a book she had painstakingly shelved. When the response finally came, it did not arrive as a dialogue, but as a verdict. The words that have since leaked to the press were brief, surgical, and devastatingly poetic. Demet Özdemir's reply was an emotional manifesto compressed into 2 sentences: "A heart only loves once. If it is given a second chance, the wound only gets deeper." These words were not merely a rejection, they were a philosophy. With this singular statement, she dismantled the romanticized notion of the second chance, reframing it not as an opportunity for redemption, but as a guarantee of further injury. It was a reply that resonated with the finality of a judge's gavel, signaling that for her, the past is not a place of potential, but a lesson learned in scar tissue. This quote has already become legendary, but I need to hear your voice in this debate. Do you agree with Demet Özdemir that a second chance inevitably leads to a deeper wound, or are you with the romantics who believe true love deserves a resurrection? Are you team closure or team hope? Let us know in the comments below. This is the debate of the year. And remember, if this deep dive is resonating with your soul, hitting the like button helps us defy the algorithm and find other thoughtful viewers like you. For those who want to support independent analysis directly, the join button is waiting. To truly comprehend the weight of this exchange, we must excavate the history that lies beneath it. The saga of Can and Demet is not a new invention, it is a lore that has persisted for years. When their paths first crossed on the set of their iconic project, the energy they generated was kinetic. It was the kind of chemistry that transcended the script, a palpable electricity that convinced millions of viewers that the fiction they were watching was merely a documentary of falling in love. The stolen glances, the improvised touches, the unspoken sentences that hung in the air between takes. These are the fragments of a memory that neither the actors nor the audience have been able to fully purge. Gossip columnists have long speculated that Demet's reference to "a heart only loves once" is a direct, albeit veiled, acknowledgement of that specific era. It implies that the intensity of what they shared was singular, a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence that cannot be replicated, even with the same person. By invoking the image of the wound, she validates the pain that accompanied their separation. It suggests that the dissolution of their bond was not a clean break, but a rupture that required significant healing. Therefore, her refusal is not born of indifference, but of self-preservation. She is protecting the scar tissue that formed over the years, refusing to let the surgeon who caused the incision reopen it under the guise of healing. On the other side of this digital divide stands Yaman, a figure often painted as the conqueror, now reduced to the role of the tragic poet. Sources from within his inner circle describe a man profoundly shaken by the clarity of the rejection. It appears that in his midnight reverie, he had underestimated the permanence of Demet's resolve. The leak from his camp is heartbreaking in its simplicity. Yaman allegedly confided to friends that "some words break the heart," a rare admission of vulnerability from a man who has built an empire on his physical and charismatic strength. The aftermath in Yaman's world was reportedly one of somber isolation. Rumors swirl that upon reading the message, he withdrew from all communication, retreating into a solitary silence that lasted for days. There are even claims that he skipped a scheduled professional engagement, a significant deviation for an actor known for his rigorous discipline. This reaction paints a picture of a man coming to terms with an irrevocable truth, that some mistakes carry a price tag that no amount of current success can pay. As one close associate reportedly summarized, Can felt, perhaps for the first time, that the door is not just closed, but walled over. The realization that his glimmer of hope was an illusion has seemingly forced him to confront the finality of his own history. In the modern age, the most profound battles are often fought through the subtle warfare of social media, and this saga is no exception. Although neither party has issued a formal press release, their digital footprints have provided a map for the observant. A few days following the private exchange, Demet Özdemir posted a photograph. Simple, elegant, yet accompanied by a caption that struck like lightning: "Choosing yourself is also an act of courage." This was immediately interpreted by her legion of followers as a public ratification of her private decision. It was a declaration of independence, a message to the world, and perhaps to one specific person, that her priority is now her own well-being, not the resurrection of a dead romance. Conversely, Yaman's social media presence took on a melancholic hue. A photograph appeared of the actor by the sea, gazing into the distance with a look of contemplative solitude. Devoid of any caption, the image became a canvas upon which fans projected their interpretations: regret, longing, the realization of loss. It was the visual embodiment of the unfinished story he had alluded to in his text. These implicit messages have turned the gossip columns into a battlefield of semiotics, where every pixel is analyzed for traces of the heartache unfolding behind the screens. The fallout from this interaction has caused a schism in the fanbase that is unlikely to heal anytime soon. The community is starkly divided. On one flank, there are those who applaud Demet Özdemir's emotional manifesto. They view her response as an act of supreme empowerment. A woman refusing to be dragged back into a past that hurt her, standing firm in her boundaries. The phrase "giving a second chance only deepens the wound" has been adopted as a slogan, a mantra for anyone who has ever chosen self-respect over nostalgia. On the opposing flank, the romantics grieve. They see Yaman's gesture as a brave attempt to right a wrong, and Demet's refusal as a tragic missed opportunity. Two hearts deserved another chance, they argue, citing the belief that time and maturity could have allowed them to rewrite their ending. However, even the most ardent supporters of the couple are finding it difficult to argue against the finality of Demet's words. The debate has transcended the actors themselves, becoming a broader discussion about the nature of love, forgiveness, and the wisdom of knowing when to let go. And so, we find ourselves at the terminus of a story that feels both like a goodbye and a tragedy. The exchange between Yaman and Demet Özdemir serves as a stark reminder that in the theater of life, not every script has a happy sequel. Demet Özdemir has drawn a line in the sand with a diamond-tipped stylus, declaring that the past is a foreign country she has no intention of revisiting. Yaman, it seems, must now navigate the future carrying the weight of the words that ended it all. As we watch these two stars continue on their separate trajectories, I want to thank you for spending your valuable time with Anything You Want. We exist to tell these stories, the ones that hurt, the ones that heal, and the ones that change us. If this video touched a nerve, please do not leave without clicking the like button. Make sure you are subscribed and have the notification bell rung, so you never miss the next chapter of the celebrity saga. And to our Join members, thank you. You are the reason we can speak the truth without fear. We are Anything You Want, and we will continue to bring you the stories that matter, with the depth they deserve. Until next time, protect your hearts, and remember, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is close the door. Goodbye.